Greetings and welcome. Today we unravel a daring proposition contained within the very title of this discourse, the art of speaking like the great philosophers and being respected without effort. A tantalizing notion, isn't it? That mere words, or perhaps a precisely timed silence, could earn us the reverence of a room, sway a gathering of minds, or steer a corporate table without raising our tone, without resorting to artifice, without strain? But, as aspiring philosophers, our first duty is inquiry. Let us start there. Without effort. I must disappoint you and yet relieve you as well. Genuine respect is never effortless. The ancients, from Socrates to Seneca, from Plato to Marcus Aurelius, taught that the true labor of respect does not occur on stage, but behind the curtain. The work is inward. What the world perceives as effortless respect is merely the echo of immense inner discipline, lucid reasoning, and emotional composure. Most people fail to earn respect in conversation not because they lack good ideas, but because their thoughts lack scaffolding. They react rather than respond. They speak with raw emotion instead of refined logic. They aim to win the argument rather than uncover the truth. The philosopher, however, has done his homework long before he speaks. His preparation was measured not in minutes, but in years of mental training. So, what we shall explore today is not manipulation, nor a bag of rhetorical tricks. It is the architecture of thought behind great minds. How did they distill chaos into coherence? And how, in doing so, did they become nearly unassailable? Let us dissect this craft. And ironically, our first lesson on speaking like a philosopher begins with silence. 1. The foundation, strategic silence. We live amid an unrelenting noise, an age allergic to quiet. In most conversations, the void between phrases is hastily stuffed with filler sounds like, right, I see, or worse, someone intruding before the other has even finished. The philosopher recognizes the potency of silence. Epictetus once observed, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." For the untrained, silence feels awkward, like something's amiss. For the thinker, silence is not a void, it is a vessel. It is where comprehension gestates. When confronted with an argument, especially one that provokes you, what is your instinct? Most minds begin crafting rebuttals while the other still speaks. They are not listening, they are merely reloading. The philosopher listens, truly listens, not merely to the syntax, but to the emotion beneath it, the premise behind it, the fear beneath the fury. And when the other finishes, the philosopher does not rush in, he pauses. That brief pause, 2, perhaps 3 seconds, is electric. It signals, I heard you, I took it seriously, and I am now reflecting. Instantly, the rhythm shifts. You are no longer reactive, you are reflective. The other, anticipating combat, is subtly disarmed. Feeling seen, they unconsciously mirror the respect they've just received. Silence is not submission, it is reconnaissance. It is the still water that conceals depth. Master silence, and you have already built the foundation of respect. 2. The instrument, the Socratic question. Once silence has grounded us, what then? The ordinary impulse is to assert, "You're wrong. That's absurd. Here's the truth." That's called pushing an idea, and human nature resists a push. Socrates perfected the opposite art, pooling. His method was devastating, not through declaration, but through inquiry. He infuriated Athens, not by calling people ignorant, but by asking questions that revealed their ignorance to themselves, a far sharper wound. So if you wish to command respect, cease to assert, begin to inquire. But not with sarcastic or accusatory questions. "Are you serious? Why do you always say that?" Ask Socratic questions, those that invite precision and reflection. Someone says, "This project is a total disaster." The reactive reply, "No, it's not. You just don't get the vision." The philosophical reply, "Intriguing. What exactly makes it a disaster to you?" Now the emotional generality collapses. They must clarify. Perhaps they answer, "The budget's blown." You ask, "Which section of the budget do you think was mishandled?" Or they say, "The team's demotivated." You ask, "What do you think caused that demotivation?" You're not contradicting, you're excavating. You transformed from adversary to co-explorer. Respect follows naturally. You make them feel heard, guide them toward self-examination, and radiate composure and curiosity. And the one who seeks understanding always appears the wiser. Useful phrases. "How did you reach that conclusion?" Or, "Help me understand your viewpoint." Or, "What alternative would you suggest?" 3. The structure, Aristotelian clarity. Not every conversation is a duel. Sometimes you must present your own view, and here complexity is the enemy. Many believe that obscurity signals intelligence, so they cloak their speech in jargon and labyrinthine phrasing, mistaking confusion for depth. They are wrong. True intellect illuminates. Aristotle taught that reason must lead cleanly from premise to conclusion. Clarity, not convolution, is persuasion. When you speak, be ruthless with your words. Ask, "What is the one truth I wish them to grasp?" Then structure. Premise. The situation is X. Evidence. We observe Y. Conclusion. Therefore, we must do Z. That's all. Simple, undeniable. Compare. Given the synergistic dynamics of our engagement initiatives, it's imperative we reevaluate our core competencies. No one knows what that means. No one respects it. Versus, "Our sales and marketing teams aren't communicating. We're losing clients. Let's schedule a 15-minute meeting each Monday between both leads." Direct, clear, irrefutable. Respect grows from lucidity, not linguistic gymnastics. People trust those who speak plainly, for clarity is the fingerprint of coherent thought. 4. The shield, Stoic composure. Silence, inquiry, and clarity all crumble if you lose emotional control. You may master every rhetorical technique, yet one outburst can undo it all. Here enters Stoicism, the most pragmatic philosophy for turbulent life. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, none were ivory tower scholars. They were soldiers, slaves, emperors, men tempered by chaos. Their axiom was simple: we cannot command what happens. We can only command our response. Most people are marionettes of impulse. Praise lifts them, insult enrages them, neglect wounds them. Their strings are visible to all. The Stoic cuts those strings. He knows that the insult reflects not him, but the speaker's fear or ignorance. Consider, "Your idea is ridiculous, the dumbest thing I've heard." Typical reply, "You're the idiot." Respect dies. Stoic reply. First, silence. You breathe. You feel the flare within, but you do not feed it. Second, discern the fact from the fiction. Fact, they disagree. Story, they think I'm stupid. You stay with the fact. Then you return, Socratically. You find the idea ridiculous. I see you disagree strongly. Which part of it strikes you as flawed? That calm deflects fire. Your composure becomes a mirror, reflecting chaos back to its source. Respect blossoms in that stillness. The room senses that you operate from a higher order of control. That is respect without effort. The effort was internal, long before words began. 5. The execution, the economy of words. The philosopher rarely floods the room with sound. In an age intoxicated by chatter, he prizes brevity. Think of Heraclitus. No man steps into the same river twice. Or Wittgenstein, whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. Every syllable was chosen like a sculptor's stroke. In a meeting where 10 voices have tangled for half an hour, the philosopher listens, quietly, mapping the logic beneath the noise. Then, when fatigue sets in, he speaks, for 30 seconds. With Aristotelian precision and Stoic calm, he says, "I've heard all sides. It seems our issue isn't budget or deadline. It's that we're solving 2 problems with 1 solution. Let's decide which, cost or time, is truly the priority. We can't optimize both." Then, silence. That silence lands heavier than 1,000 arguments, because in a sea of reaction, he synthesized. Respect follows naturally. It is not demanded. It is what lingers in the room when your mind has demonstrated order, clarity, and restraint. Respect is the residue of inner mastery. Begin today. In your next dialogue, in your next disagreement. Don't aim to conquer, aim to comprehend. Don't react, respond. Don't fill the silence, harness it. Do this, and respect will no longer be something you chase. It will, quietly and naturally, arrive. Thank you for listening.